All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our May edition of Next Up. Thanks for giving all your shout outs. It's great to see so many people join from North America and Europe and just across the world. And we'll get started as we're waiting for more folks to trickle in. One, if you are new here to Next Up, we've been around for a couple months, but this is Logitech's opportunity to connect with you and engage with you, have you also talk and hear from our product and solution experts, giving you a little bit of a preview and deep dive into the solutions that we are announcing and launching. It's a chance for you to ask us questions and engage in great conversations in our Logitech for Business ecosystem. Speaking of questions, if you're new here, a couple of housekeeping tips. You can submit questions, not in chat, but actually in the Q&A button down below. So be sure to go find that. And we're going to be dedicating a lot of time today to answer your questions. So find the time to submit those. And if there's an existing question you're curious about that you see, be sure to upvote that so that they're answered more quickly and earlier in the session. Another housekeeping tip, and we got questions about this earlier, don't worry if you missed certain notes. Some of the topics today are going to be quite technical and meaty. So all these webinars are recorded and will be available in Product Hub under the Events tab shown here. So you can revisit the one we did in March along with this one. In just a couple days, we'll upload this one. So don't be afraid. You can take notes for sure, but revisit this in the Product Hub. All right, without further ado, our topics for today. It's a bit of a Microsoft takeover. We're going to be introducing a new room solution and talking about the all-important AOSP device management migration. You'll hear a lot from me. I lead product marketing here on Team Workspace Solutions at Logitech, and also from Mr. Sakar. Vivek here is our Senior Director of Product Management. So you'll hear from us about these two great topics. Okay, diving into our new solution for Teams Rooms, I'm really excited to talk more about this. So as you know, we at Logitech have been on a journey and have been enabling collaboration in all these types of spaces. We really believe that great video conferencing is at the center of great collaboration. Being able to really see and hear clearly and be able to connect and be productive, no matter where you are, whether you're at home, like some of you might be today, or in various spaces in meeting rooms and collaboration spaces. We also know that a lot of organizations have been building out these smaller spaces recently, maybe for about 4 to 6 people, huddle in small rooms, but sometimes they look a little bit like this. Small spaces with minimal equipment, maybe just a TV shown here, or a clunky kind of bring your own device experience, perhaps a lot of cables that are hard to navigate, or things just not set up to really promote effective collaboration. And so we really want to help you enable and upgrade these spaces into a richer Teams Rooms experience with consistent and easy meeting room controls, like that one touch to join that's so beloved by a lot of folks joining rooms, and a really reliable experience from room to room, even in your small spaces. And that's why we're really excited to introduce a new entry-level Teams Room solution to help boost collaboration in these small spaces, a solution that's pre-configured and really easy and affordable to deploy. It has everything you need to start deploying. It features our Meetup 2 next-gen camera that we announced and launched last year, which delivers a ton of intelligent capabilities from Right Sight 2, features like grid view, which you're seeing here, speaker view, and camera zone, and also a lot of Right Sound 2 features that really boost and bring clarity to voices while eliminating distractions, like its AI-powered noise and echo suppression. The kit also includes a Lenovo ThinkSmart Tiny that features an Intel i3 processor. It's really capable of running the entire Teams Rooms experience, as well as a lot of Teams AI features. The solution also includes our Tap with USB kit, a new unique touch controller only available with this specific solution for small rooms, and it delivers that same great presence at the table with that 10-inch display and that one touch to join experience. And the touch controller also includes an HDMI ingest for wired content sharing if folks need it at the table. Okay, let me show you how simple it is to connect all these things. First, the Meetup 2 comes with an included USB-C cable. You connect that to the Lenovo PC. And then the tab controller includes a 5-meter long USB-C cable that's specifically designed for this solution set. And that single USB-C delivers both connectivity and power to the controller. So you don't need any extra cables, just one connection from the PC to the controller. And then you can add the HDMI cable to allow for that wired content sharing. I set a bunch of these up at our office a few weeks ago, and by now I can get everything connected in 10 minutes or less. Really, really easy. And thinking about connections and deployment as well, we've made this solution really easy to adapt to your environments and rooms. The Meetup 2 camera comes with its multi-mount to securely attach it above a TV or below, or rested on a credenza, or even to carts. And we've also included in the kit the compute mount to secure the Lenovo PC and tidy up cables, whether it's kind of in the back of the TV or somewhere in that credenza. And for the controller, you always have the option of adding mounts to secure it to the table or save space and secure it to the wall. All right, of course, after connecting everything, we make it super easy to configure and manage. You can do it all in Sync, our device and space management platform, or if you have a Teams Pro license, you can manage it all in the Teams Pro portal as well. All right, so that's our entry-level solution, but you may be wondering, don't you already have Teams Room solutions out there, pre-configured ones? Well, so yes, this entry-level solution on the left here is specifically certified under the Microsoft Teams entry-level category. It's a category definition and specifically designed for these smaller spaces with that single 5-meter USB-C cable, really thinking about easy and affordable to deploy. For those who want a little bit more flexibility and length in their small rooms, in routing placing and routing that controller somewhere not 5 meters away, or if you're looking for the ability to connect 2 TVs to the PC, or you might want more compute capacity as headroom for future Teams capabilities, then you'll need to choose our standard small room solution here in the middle. And so those are our Teams Rooms for Windows solution sets. For anyone looking to deploy Teams Rooms on Android, you'd be looking at our Rally Bar Huddle and Tap IP solution, as the Huddle has Android capabilities built in, so you don't need that additional compute capacity, and it's an even simpler install for Android solution sets. All right, and this adds to our overall portfolio of Teams Room solutions offered by Logitech, from small spaces all the way to large. And this solution, of course, is available with additional services to really boost proactive management, power a ton more capabilities from workspace management, alerts, and other insights, as well as the ability to add Select to these rooms for advanced product replacements and 24/7 premium service. Lastly, I'll just put here that you're getting a sneak peek, actually. We're announcing the solution set publicly tomorrow. And so you can look out for more information and articles in Product Hub and on our logitech.com website. And certification and availability will start in Q3. So it's around the July timeframe. And for MSRP, we're looking at in euros, 2,800 or so. And in US, there's going to be USD pricing. I'll pop that in the chat in a sec. All right, so that's our overview of our exciting new Teams Rooms solution. We'll take a break at the end to answer any questions about it, so I'll take a look now. But for now, I'd like to invite Vivek on to talk about our AOSP device management migration. Vivek, pass it to you.
Thank you, Holly. And I see the Q&A section is blowing up with a lot of questions, so we'll get to it in a bit. With that said, I wanted to quickly touch upon our upcoming CollabOS 114B release, in which we are including the Teams Rooms AOSP device management. So this is going to be the update in which all CollabOS devices, with the exception of one, migrates over to using the AOSP device management. Why are we using this AOSP device management? This is related to an announcement Microsoft made earlier last year about migrating from the Google Device Administrator usage to using the AOSP device management solution. So you can find the link for that announcement in the comment section. So check it out if you want to get a little bit more context on what is this whole AOSP device management. That said, So this update of CollabOS 114B is applicable for, if I can get my slide to the next slide, perfect. It's going to be applicable for pretty much most, if not all, of our CollabOS portfolio of devices. This is the Rally Bar, the Mini, the Rally Bar Huddle, Roommate, Tap IP, Tap Scheduler, and Logitech Flex. The one product that is not currently migrating over to the AOSP device management is going to be the Rally Board. The Rally Board is a device, all-in-one touch experience device, which is going to get the AOSP device management firmware in the coming months. So all the other devices will get this 114B update. So going on to this update, and what does it mean? So with the migration of the Teams Rooms or Teams Panels customers using Intune, the migration rolls over to using AOSP device management. We put up a guide for which you'll find the link also in the comments section, which helps you clear up any prerequisites you need to put in place before you update to this device. It starts off with requiring an Intune enrollment policy. So this is the policy that you need to make sure your Intune recognizes this device is going to get enrolled in. And then separately, there's also a compliance policy. And then please, after then, update to the CollabOS 114B. This is a prerequisite because if you do not do the steps 1, 2, and 3, any customer organization that is leveraging Intune for your estate, the devices might get signed out. So just be careful, walk through the guide, prepare through a lot of our ongoing beta programs, try it out, go through validation before you update to CollabOS 114B, as all the Teams Rooms and Teams Panels devices are migrating to this. As part of this, I already talked about how failing to set up the profile and the policy might mean your Teams estate might sign out. There's another call out. If you are one of the companies that does not use Intune, then this update actually is going to be non-consequential for you. So you can just update the devices as expected and not have any issues over that. Only for customers who are leveraging Intune for managing their estate. This also could be your mobile phone estates and all those kind of things for your employees. In case you're using Intune only for your mobile phones for your employees, but not for your room systems, please do make sure to disable Intune in that account setting. So that way the migration to the latest updates is seamless. All right. I threw in a whole bunch of caveats and guides. So let me take a minute to walk through a quick quiz that we are going to pop up. And I'd like all the participants to tell us which one of these statements is false. And it is a little bit of a trick question. So take your time and let us know what you think is the false statement. And this is also making sure everyone's getting ready in preparation to this upgrade. And we'll give you an additional 30 seconds more as you think through and pick your choice here. All right, and also in case you did answer, please do take the time to drop your questions to the Q&A section. That's on the bottom control panel in the Zoom application. All right, I think we are on time. Let's get to the answer. And in case you did get the question right, the false statement here is it's mandatory. Like I said, it's a little bit of a trick question. It is not mandatory. It's going to be contextually dependent on your company policy and if they're using Intune or not. All right, so that was a quick check. Hopefully everyone's awake, at least in the US time zone, as the day is getting started in the West Coast. Moving on from there. So, we told you about this update, and I also mentioned about, as IT admins, take the precautionary steps of testing and validating it out. We've had this release, the CollabOS 114B, as we call it, out in beta since May 2nd, and the beta is still ongoing. This is a beta that Logitech has been providing to our customers along with Microsoft who have also been doing this as part of their technology adoption program. So if you're not on any one of these, do get on and try it out. If you're one of those companies that is using Intune, we are collecting feedback. And as we collect feedback and process it, we are targeting for the general availability or rollout of this release to all devices in the coming weeks. So again, check it out. As typical recommendation for estates go, start off with the validation in a limited small set of devices that you're comfortable with. See how that rollout goes, and then from there onwards, go for deploying it across your estate. I'm sure if you have any questions, please do drop it in the Q&A. We'll get to it. Separately, as we talked about this release and are making it available in the coming weeks, Microsoft will also make this update, the CollabOS 114B, an auto update. It is currently planned to start off in June 15th. What it means is on June 15th, your devices, based on which rollout ring they're set up to. There are 3 rings that Teams Admin Center provides. Starts off with validation, general, and final. So on June 15th, the planned date for now, the devices that you set in the validation ring will also get this update automatically. And that will last for 15 days. So June 15th plus 15 days, this update will be auto-updating devices in the validation phase. Moving on from there, there's a 30-day window in the general ring. So this would pretty much be your default choice for any devices that have been enrolled into Intune and Teams Admin Center. So there's a 30-day window in which this update will gradually roll out automatically. And then for any rooms you explicitly set into the final update ring, whether it's executive spaces or any high-value rooms that you want to only update at a later stage, those devices will get the update in the last 15 days over the course of the 60-day rollout period. So that's auto updates that Microsoft will also start applying roughly a month after we are rolling it out. Again, the planned date is June 15th for that update to start rolling it out. All right, from there, I think I will transition over to the Q&A section, and Holly, you want to help maybe moderate as we go through all our open questions here?
Sounds good. Thanks for that. Yes, tons of great questions in the Q&A. Thanks for submitting those. Be sure to keep upvoting them so we know what to answer quickly. And I'd like to invite back Alex Mooney, our Senior Alliances Manager, John Skehan, our Director of Product Management, and Vivek back on to answer your great questions. We'll start off with some maybe around the Teams Room solution and kick us off there, and then tons of great questions around AOSP, so we can do that as well. Maybe I'll start us off with a question about BYOD or direct guest join capabilities in this solution set. John, maybe you can help answer this. What are the options to be able to join this entry-level solution using a different provider?
Sure. So, of course, Teams Rooms have the capability to do direct guest join. This is a standard feature since a couple of years now. So that is available in this solution as well. And then for BYOD, if you need to join something that is outside of that, the options with direct guest join, you can use Logitech Switch. And that allows basically taking over the display, camera, speaker, and microphone, and having them connected to your laptop, allowing you to run a call directly from your laptop.
Right, so you've got options there. Otherwise, I'd say if that's a common use case for your small room, perhaps you'd like to consider deploying it as a BYOD room instead of a dedicated Windows solution. Those are all options, of course, depends on the use case. John, maybe a different question for you is it possible to extend that 5-meter connection from tap to the compute in this entry-level solution?
So in short, no. This entry-level solution is designed for simplicity, and part of that is a fixed length 5-meter cable that is a point-to-point connection between the Lenovo PC and the tap controller. That allows, that conveys both data and power to the device If you're looking for something that's a little bit longer distance or more flexible in terms of how you route cables or the space that you need to equip, then we have our standard small room solutions for MTR on Windows, and that's with TAP with Cat5e kit. You can tailor that from a few meters cable all the way up to 40 meters of cabling distance.
Yeah, and it's a good segue to one that you mentioned you might answer as well. Is this tap with USB kit just the same as the other one, but without the attached Cat5e adapter?
So we've tried to take the best of what TAP is. So, the experience, the presence on the table, the design, the display, but really streamline that for this entry-level kit. So the things that are a little bit different are mostly on the insides. So we basically made it a much simpler native Type-C display, and then powering directly from the Lenovo PC. So again, an eye for simplicity, but maintaining that great user experience of having one touch to join and a familiar form factor.
Yeah, I think there's also other questions about cable length and whatnot. Just to hit it, just to make it really clear, this certified entry-level solution needs to be done with the included 5-meter USB-C cable, specifically designed with this touch controller. You cannot easily extend it. It no longer becomes certified, and certainly other functionality may fall as well. Okay, I've got another question that Vivek, you were going to answer live that I'll bring up here. But is this entry-level solution only capable of showing a single display, or can it be connected to more? Maybe John or Alex, you can answer to kind of the connections and ports in both this and our standard solution.
Let me take a stab at the maximum
Sure.
displays that are supported, and then Alex, John, please chime in with ports and some of the functionality, because we do have a grouping of questions around that. Starting off with the display support, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, it is a single display that is what will be supported with the Lenovo Compute. So along with the tap USB kit and a single display for the entry-level meeting room setups, you could use this. And on top of it, right side and right sound solutions are available. So both right side 2 and right sound 2 are available as part of the Meetup offering. So from the microphone pickup range being up to 7 meters, including people counting and also noise suppression that comes in from the Logitech solutions, those are available. On top of it, and Alex, I'll tag you for this, does any of the Teams noise suppression get enabled as part of this offering?
Yeah, this is a great question. So there are some limitations Microsoft has let us know about related to the entry-level solutions. This is really geared towards smaller rooms that are hoping for a lower cost and simplified deployment. So things like intelligent camera and other AI functionalities will be restricted in this category from Microsoft. If you have in a room, if you have a need for these advanced features, that's where Logitech's already existing standard bundles is the right place to go. And so whereas the kind of basic noise suppression that both Logitech provides as a part of our Meetup and also that Microsoft provides will be available, some of the more advanced features like AI recognition and so forth are most likely going to be restricted. And for sure, things like intelligent camera features will definitely be restricted in this entry-level solution. So we have solutions for that. You can absolutely use Logitech's standard solutions that are already in market today for those more advanced use cases.
And John, do you want to touch upon HDMI ingest and some of those additional functionality?
Of course. So the HDMI ingest is comparable and in fact identical to what we have in our TAP Cat5e based solutions. So standard 1080p HDMI ingest. And then the one thing that we have updated on this particular product, this bundle, instead of having just an HDMI cable, we are including an HDMI to USB-C cable. So that's a little bit more I'd say common connectivity for laptops today for content sharing. Of course, it is an HDMI port on the tap with USB kit, so that port you can deploy with a standard HDMI cable if desired.
So thanks, John. And maybe Holly, I'll like self-nominate as I try to get into some of the AOSP questions that's been batching up. I'll start off with, I think, a very high-level question on, hey, is this update mandatory for everyone, right? And as that false question quiz that we put out, it's not mandatory if your company is not leveraging Intune. So this is going to be, again, on a case-by-case basis based on how your company is set up, your Teams rooms, and overall Teams management. So that's one thing to call out. The other item is also the AOSP device management upgrade has nothing to do with your Teams licensing. So whether you're on basic or pro license, it doesn't matter. You still need to go through the AOSP device management migration if you are leveraging Intune. Then there's the big call out of, I forget who it was. Let me just pull it up. Someone was very brave and asking, hey, can we already update our estate to this release because everything is smooth? I request not to, because as IT admins and technical folks in this call, I'm a big fan and proponent of gradual rollout. So wait for the general availability to be available. Right. So, and again, like I mentioned, we're expecting that to happen in the next week or so, in the coming weeks. And then also, once it's available, don't go and update your whole estate in one go. Please do go through a gradual rollout. This will facilitate being able to understand how the rollout is impacting your estate or your company fleet. And then on top of it, this also gives us, Logitech, and our partners, Microsoft, the visibility into understanding, how successful the migration is. So again, recommendation is wait for the general availability and don't hit update all. Take your time. And when you do update, yes, you do need the Intune enrollment policy or Intune enrollment profile. I'll correct myself there. And also the compliance policy to be set if you're a company that uses Intune. And if I read between the lines, between the statement that we've made in the call today and Microsoft's published articles, June 15th is that deadline for any company that's using Intune to have the enrollment profile and the policy in place, because that's when Microsoft kicks off its auto updates. So just be aware of it, right? Because once the auto update kicks in, these devices have a finite window before which they all get updated. So again, it starts off with, are you a company that uses Intune? Then this news is definitely for you. And then please do make sure that you have the profiles and everything in place. With that, I think I've answered most of the AOSP questions. Again, if there's any doubts, please do feel free to drop them in the Q&A section. And then I'll go through the open items here.
We can switch it up to maybe address the very exciting upcoming site daisy chaining capabilities. Vivek, everyone wants to know, when is that coming?
Yeah, so site daisy chaining, this is a feature that you've seen us showcase at ISC earlier this year. And, we're building up towards its public availability as part of CollabOS 1.15. My colleague Holly, later on during the slides, we will talk about the next up session in which we'll share more details about it. But stay tuned. The CollabOS 1.15 is going to be a big feature update coming in. As part of that feature release is going to be the site daisy chaining feature for all platforms. So whether you're a Teams customer, Zoom, or Google Meet, or even BYOD, you'll get that functionality using, two sites daisy chained to the Rally bar or the Rally bar menu. Then maybe I'll also take one more of the spot questions. And John, I might also tag you a little bit on this. One of the questions came in like, hey, can I use the Logitech Spot when it becomes available for occupancy detection? And let me just make sure I'm paraphrasing the question properly here. That one go. Maybe panelist, if you can help me pick the question on spot. Yeah. Okay. So the question was, hey, can I use the spot sensor to wake up room devices and displays at the same room? John, you want to take a swing at that one?
So part of the value of Spot, along with all the environmental sensing, is that it allows for auto book and release of space. So basically, the radar that is built into it will allow you to wake up the room solution.
Awesome, yeah. And then as Spot becomes available between different platforms and room solutions, some of those options will be controlled by your device management solution of choice. I'll actually go back and answer a few more AOSP questions because they're still coming into our Q&A. Couple of again bucket questions. What does this mean when I upgrade the AOSP device management? What does it mean for the company after the AOSP device management upgrade has been applied? Is there any device management changes, or is it going to be transparent? Once this migration is done, whichever your preferred solution for device management is, that would still continue to be the option, whether you're using Teams Admin Center, you're using Sync, nothing changes from that perspective. The migration of this device management solution is to make sure that there is future compatibility coming in from both Microsoft and Logitech, and also provides more functionalities for future releases. So that's the main intent. From a device management perspective, though, just to make sure it's clear, there are no changes, right? Then on top of it, Microsoft's blog says May 15th, and in our slides, we said June 15th. So what's the date? The quick call out, May 15th is the generalized Microsoft Auto Update rollout start for all vendors. Specifically for Logitech, the date is June 15th. And again, that blog post, we will put it in the comments that Microsoft has published for the AOSP rollout, explicitly calls out by vendor when each of those auto updates start off. So there is going to be a variation. It's not a May 15th for all solutions. It's going to be May 15th, June 15th, and so on accordingly. Awesome. All right. Then, yeah, the other thing is Teams panels also affected by this. If you're using any Android-based solution, which is Teams Rooms on Android or Teams panels, and you're using the Intune management solution, then it is going to impact your company estate or fleet. So just be cautious. As I mentioned, Intune is a big starting point as you work your way through the guide. All right, and then John.
Say maybe you want to check in on the questions, Vivek, and you tackled a ton there, so maybe addressing those. But Alex, I'm actually going to pass it to you for a sec for this question here about upgrading from Android 12 to future capabilities and our announcements last year about that update. So what does it mean when we want to upgrade from Android 12, and what does that mean for our existing devices and serviceability and supportability?
Yeah, happy to answer this one. So, Microsoft published an end of certification date related to the Android version on devices that run on Android, like Logitech's CollabOS devices. We originally were running on Android 12 or Android 10 for most of our devices. And so we have made a public announcement that we're moving those CollabOS devices to Android 12. Which does extend the certification end date under Microsoft's definitions for an additional 2 years. Certification end date, end of life, and end of support or compatibility are all different categories. So I just want to reassure you that the end of certification date doesn't mean that suddenly your devices don't work. This is a date that we work very closely with Microsoft on. It is not the same as end of support. And so we do expect those devices to have the certification through 26, and then we also expect that support to run through 29.
Alex, just a quick correction, 27, not
27. 27 and 29. 27 and 29. Thanks, Vivek. I also saw another question that was related to why Android versus Windows, like what would lead us to make a decision there. And I just want to start by saying Logitech certifies our portfolio of devices for both Windows and Android. We uniquely do this. We take on this additional effort in order to make sure that your investment is flexible and it's protected. But what we hear from customers is that they like the Android deployment because it's simpler, there's less components, and it's just easier overall to manage. But if you have some needs where Windows is the right platform for you, we absolutely have partners and certified solutions that are fully supported and certified both with Microsoft and supported through all the management tools there. So if you have those needs, maybe you have advanced use cases, different AI capabilities, multiple cameras, that may be a reason to select Windows as your operating system for specific rooms. But in general, Logitech certifies our devices for Android and for Windows, and we support both platforms.
And maybe I'll take one more stab. Again, I'll go back to the AOSP device management topic. Feels like, it's a pretty big topic that everyone's well aware of. There was a question about certificate management and, SCAP and all those kind of things. And, if there's anything coming in from AOSP. As of today, between us, Logitech, and Microsoft, we do not plan to officially support any kind of certificate management through this AOSP device management or Intune migration. Stay tuned. I'm sure as this evolves, we'll keep you posted on the latest updates on it. And the same thing also goes for Logitech's plan to officially support SCAP or certificate management. This is something that I'm sure in a future session, we will have more details to share upon. But for now, we don't have any answers to share. So that's, I think, the last of the AOSP questions I had. Again, Holly and panel team, let me know if I'm missing anything. I'll also use that as a segue for CollabOS 1.15 callout. We already talked about CollabOS 1.15 and how site daisy chaining is coming in. One other item that's going to be coming as part of that is currently we are working towards enabling HDMI ingest for Teams Rooms on Android devices when using the TAP kits. Specifically, this has been a feature that we've enabled for Zoom customers in the CollabOS 1.14 release, and then with subsequent updates in the Teams Rooms application and from CollabOS 1.15, we will look into enabling this in the CollabOS 1.15 release. Again, keep an eye out for the next up session in which we'll share more details. And you've already heard this from me a few times, but stay tuned into our beta channels, get your devices onto the beta release, and you will get early access to a lot of these features as they become available. All right, John, I do have a few questions coming in related to mic pods with sites and also using cat cabling with the old fiber. So if you don't mind, can you just generalize the question and help our audience get some visibility into what we plan to do?
Yeah, just scrolling through the questions. There were many, I think, here. So first, the cabling that we're using with the TAP with USB kit, this is a copper cable, so it is not to be confused with our 2019 active optical cables that we originally bundled with TAP. That would be the strong USB. The Gen 2 of those are available as standalone cables, but they're not interchangeable with this particular kit. With our entry-level offering here, it is a included 5-meter copper cable, and specifically for this product because it also carries a power and data over that. So fixed length, and then if you need more flexibility, as we discussed earlier, the TAP with Cat5e in our standard MTR Teams Rooms on Windows offerings can address that. Well, point me at another question there, Vivek.
Yeah, I was actually going to, sorry, I'm just catching up on all the questions.
There's so many. It's great. I think there was a question about mic pods and on this solution. So with the entry-level Teams Room, this is with Meetup 2. Meetup 2 has a standard pickup range of, I believe, 23 feet, or roughly in that 6 to 7 meter range. There are no external mic pod offerings for Meetup 2. It is meant to be, just an all-in-one bar that covers the small to also huddle and small rooms. So really meant to be simple, not a lot of cabling effort there. Just to sidebar on that, since there is no mic pod connection there, it also not supporting Logitech Sight in a smaller huddle room, which, as you can imagine, fitting enough people to use Logitech Sight in a smaller huddle room could be quite challenging too.
Thanks, John. And also, if you don't mind, there's, let's say, a high-level portfolio question coming in about, hey, are there any options for devices, the controller and the front of room to communicate over IP and eliminate the need for a cable between the front of room device and the table? And I think we might already have a solution.
Yeah, actually on Teams Room on Android, we do support products like Tap IP and Tap Scheduler, both in that space. Those are both IP-based solutions and PoE Type 1. So really simple to deploy, no need to connect from front of room to middle of the table. Just connect to your local at the table PoE enabled network drop. And similarly, Tap Scheduler as a Teams panel, that's same construct, is IP-based and PoE powered Type 1 again, and that works with both Teams Room on Windows, Teams Room on Android, because it is a Teams panel. It's cross-platform.
Thanks, John. Alex, I'll pull you in for a PC compute-based question. One of our customers, Brandon, is asking, like, they want to use MTR on Windows and enroll that into their company. As part of that, they need to install Sentinel-1 antivirus solution. Do you see any issues with the performance of the compute at that point?
Yeah, this is a great question. We have a lot of customers that choose Windows because they need specific security or other tools installed on the devices. While we don't specifically support Windows or those add-on tools, we would definitely encourage testing these. And if you're concerned about it, there's an extensive documentation on learn.microsoft.com where you can go through and kind of look at what the best practice is for setting these kinds of tools up. But definitely, I would encourage having a testing period in your lab before trying to roll this out to a large number of devices.
Like, maybe I'll ask two site-related questions to you that I'm seeing. One is about picking up folks on the front of room display, and maybe there's something there, whether it's a known issue or something there about the install and kind of placement away, since site has a specific radius that you can speak to, and then I'll ask you the second site question.
Yeah, so site today does have a radius that we leverage in our systems, and people who might be coming within that zone will get picked up. That said, we are looking into future solutions to be able to allow our end users, IT admins in this call, a way to set their preferred range for which the site is going to pick it up. Our big recommendation, though, is to still use the camera zones feature when you're using it in Teams Rooms on Windows or on Android or on Zoom. So that way you're already precursively setting the zone within which both the smart switching and the front of room bars are focusing on. That gives site a better visibility into what's happening in the room. And then at a later stage, we will have some more features that allow for more granular controls on it.
Great, thanks. So yeah, once again, let's look into camera zone settings for the entire solution set, and you can see more details about how to deploy that in Product Hub. In fact, the second site-related question is to do with Rally Plus. So in these larger spaces with modular systems, do we currently have a plan to support site in Rally Plus deployments?
We are actively looking into it. At this moment, I don't have much of an update to share. But once we do have something a little bit more concrete, you will be hearing from us in one of these Next Up series.
Got it. Great.
Awesome. And then I still see a few AOSP questions, so if you don't mind, I'll take a stab at them. Again, Elliot and a few folks, excuse me in case I'm giving generalized statements, but it starts off with read through our guide, something that we posted in the comments. Run through beta testing and all the validations as this release becomes available. And then if your company is leveraging Intune, again, please do have the enrollment profile and the Intune and the policy set up. So this will allow you to have a seamless, smooth migration. In case you are not adhering to any of it, right? Or in some cases, companies have Intune managed by totally different admin teams. Please do reach out to your admin teams who are managing Intune to take care of setting them up accordingly. This is pretty much the prescribed set of steps that are required to be done so that you have a seamless, smooth migration. In cases where this is not set up in place and the Microsoft auto update policy kicks in, then it is possible that your devices will sign out. So to avoid any of those kind of repercussions, again, we recommend that you set up everything in Intune. And also, as Johan posted on the comments, if you do not use Intune, you don't have to do anything. Actually, it's going to be a pretty straightforward migration. And there's again the article that lists it. So again, we are dropping quite a few links over here. So take your time to go through it.
I just want to add there. So if you don't use Intune, you must go to Microsoft 365 and disable it. If you don't, there will be problems. So you have to disable it.
Awesome. Thank you, Johan. And folks, as we reminded, a lot of links. So please do go through it. We are here to make sure everyone has all the information in hand to make the relevant calls. All right. And then I'm actually going to tag Trevor to maybe help us through a little bit of a select and remote UI question on Teams Rooms on Windows. One of our customers, Matt, is in a GCC environment and is unable to use the Microsoft PMP solution for remote management. So they're asking us, do we plan to do anything on Teams Rooms on Windows with remote UI?
For Teams Rooms on Windows with remote UI access. So we do not have any plans today. This came up last night in our session too, and we have a lot of customers who already leverage different solutions on the MTROWs today. So we haven't seen the need from customers to pursue developing our own solution for this. But if there is that desire for Logitech to investigate a solution related to remote UI access for MTRWs, please add it to the wish list on the hub so we can get more information and input from other customers, and that can gain some traction. We're always willing to take a look at this. Thanks, Vivek.
Awesome. Thank you, Trevor. All right. There are a few, I'll just call it out as roadmap, future-looking product questions. Unfortunately, at this time, we're not going to be focusing on any future product conversations. When we do get to that point, we will, keep you posted about it. Maybe I'll take the last two questions for now because the Q&A is slowly getting answered. And then Holly, we can also talk about some upcoming information we wanted to share. One of the questions is related to audio and any kind of quality issues that you might be facing. Please do reach out to our support teams because audio is highly subjective based on the room and the setup that you have. And given the AI that we have on the Logitech devices and the Microsoft noise suppression, it is possible some of these settings might be playing a role and part of it. So reach out to our Logitech support teams and we'll be happy to triage them and walk you through what might be happening. So that should hopefully answer a lot of the open questions that were about audio performance and pickup. All right. Holly, maybe I'll hand it off to you unless we get any other newer questions.
Sounds good. happy to wrap us up with a few more quick notes and updates. All right, so one you may have heard us mention and certainly put in the chat, a told punt done about Product Hub. So if you don't know already, we have a portal which you can go to under sync, but also publicly available, called Product Hub, where you can go to look at all our product articles and dig into more a lot of what we talked about today. AOSP migration, there are links there, how to the upcoming HDMI ingest, and much more information. But where we're recently launching that's brand new is a section called discussions. And this is brand new as of this week, where you can go and we really want to hear from you and build a community. So you can add topics, comment on each other's, and really dig into the details that we are not able to. So we're really excited to launch this brand new section called Discussions in Product Hub. In the meanwhile, if you have a feature that we haven't implemented, and I've certainly heard a lot of questions about roadmap on there, if you have a feature or wish list that you'd like to add, definitely check out this link that will help pop in the chat to add your favorite features and wish list to tell us. And then lastly, in terms of upcoming sessions, we've got actually tomorrow a session in the Europe timeframe with our Europe-based solutions engineers about larger spaces, whether it's using site daisy chaining, which is coming out soon for large spaces to think about, how you can perhaps not pick up folks' faces in the front of the room on the screen, or a Microsoft multi-stream experience, and what does that look like in larger spaces, as well as some highlights about Google Meet and some of those solutions. Definitely pay attention to this Talk Techie to Me in Europe later this week. And then also we have coming up later this month, a session with Craig and William on one of our solutions engineers about managing Logitech devices within Sync. So if you're not a Sync whiz yet, or you want to discover more capabilities, definitely attend this session. They'll be doing a live demo exploring various features within Sync for better management. And then of course, all these sessions are also in the events section of Product Hub, including this webinar, which will be recorded and available later this week. But as Vivek mentioned, for those of you who were interested in site daisy chaining, bookmark June 5th as the date with some of these time zones here for our next up session, where we'll take a live view of site daisy chaining, as well as some other exciting updates to come with APIs and CollabOS in the coming months. So look out for these links in the event section of Product Hub. And I believe this June 5th one will be up shortly. It's not quite just there yet. Okay.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll just chime in. There's one question that did come into the Q&A. So again, as Alex put in the comments, folks, if you do have any other questions, please do use the Q&A panel to put in those questions and we'll answer it. So going back to the question. So the question that came in is, hey, I'm getting these devices, a few months from now, ships from factory, from a Logitech factory, running a pre-AOSP firmware. So fairly technical question. Goes into the nitty-gritty details of logistics and supply chain. So what do I do, right? So customers, and like a lot of folks in this call, I do know that people like to order ahead, keep some spare devices as they onboard different new rooms into their estate. So again, as long as you have the right in-tune profiles and policies and everything set up, then so that's a precursory that you need to do anyways. Once that is done, we have options like the sync update channels that facilitate for IT admins to update your devices in a sequential manner to a release that is using the AOSP device management solution. On top of it, Logitech, we also provide a update policy where devices running N-2, and again, for the technical folks here, I'm sure you are aware, but last 2 releases before the current releases, we validate those updates. So you can pretty much turn on these devices and then plug it in to update, and that should take care of the migration itself. So that's a big call out here. So again, Teams Rooms on Android or Teams Panels customers who are getting devices that might be running a pre-AOSP firmware As part of your onboarding process, you will get an update that will migrate you over, again, assuming all the prerequisites of Intunes are set up in place. And in case you do need additional update management, you can always lean into the sync update channels that is available for you as customers. All right, and then maybe Johan and Johanna, I'll tag you folks for dropping the link to the guide in the comments one more time. We do have Mike who was asking for, hey, is there a link to the documentation on how to create the Intune policy and the profile? Then Alex, actually, if you don't mind, do you want to talk a little bit about the Microsoft trial that you've been talking in the chat channel?
Sure, yeah. A lot of people would love to test Logitech devices for Microsoft Teams Rooms in their lab so that they can get hands-on with some of these experiences as they're making their decisions. So we do have a program to give you a couple of devices so that you can test those. If you are interested in Logitech's devices for Microsoft Teams Rooms, you can head over to logitech.com/Microsoft/trial. The link is in the chat for everybody. And you can apply there to the program. Or of course, just reach out to your Logitech contacts. They can help you to make sure that you get access to those devices. So definitely, if you're evaluating and you would like to get hands-on with some devices, please submit that to that link.
Thank you, Alex.
All right. Thanks everyone for all your time. We're very close to the top of the hour. As always, great questions, great engagement. And so really excited to keep doing this, keep doing these webinars. And so bookmark that June 5th date, and we'll see you for our next step. Thanks and enjoy the rest of the day.
Just a quick reminder, Holly,